the kind that shapes souls. And now, as you walk forward, you no longer carry the belief that you must be strong at all times. You understand that strength is a rhythm, a rising and resting, a holding and releasing, a knowing when to push and when to breathe. You make peace with your emotions. You no longer fight them. You no longer fear them. You allow them to pass, like weather across a boundless sky, because that is what you are. A sky wide enough to hold storms without collapsing. You begin to trust yourself on a level you never have before, not because you know all the answers, but because you know you can handle whatever comes. You trust your patience. You trust your boundaries. You trust your intuition. You trust the quiet voice within you that whispers, "This way." You follow it, not blindly, but with a steady openness, a willingness to grow into whatever the journey demands. Your purpose, once a distant mystery, begins to reveal itself, not in flashes of clarity, but in subtle shifts. You feel it, in the way you hold yourself, in the way your breath deepens, in the way your mind settles, in the way your heart softens. Purpose is not found in answers. Purpose is found in alignment. Alignment with truth, alignment with values, alignment with the person you are striving to become. You realize you no longer need to chase meaning. Meaning arises when you choose to live with intention, when you choose compassion over resentment, presence over distraction, courage over fear, self-respect over approval. These choices, small and quiet, are transforming you from within. You begin to understand that the life you desire is built from the decisions you make in moments no one sees. When you wake early, even though your body aches. When you breathe deeply, instead of reacting impulsively. When you speak truth, instead of comfort. When you walk away from what no longer honors your becoming. These are the acts that carve strength into your character. These are the acts that shape your destiny. The Stoics believed that we cannot control events, but we can shape ourselves into the kind of person capable of meeting those events with dignity. You are doing this now, quietly, daily, unwaveringly, and the person you are becoming, the person rising from the ashes of who you once were, is someone you can trust with your future, someone steady, someone disciplined, someone compassionate, someone resilient, someone whole. You are not finished. You are not perfect. You are not certain, but you are becoming, and that is enough, more than enough, because becoming is the greatest act of courage a human soul can undertake. And you, quietly, bravely, relentlessly, are becoming. And with that courage alive inside you, you begin to feel the shift, not as a moment, but as a movement, a slow, deliberate rising from the center of your being. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is not heroic in the way stories describe. It is quieter, truer, more human. It is the rising that happens when you finally stop running from yourself, when you stop resisting what is, when you stop clinging to what was. You stand no taller than before, but you feel taller. You breathe the same air, but it fills you differently. You see the same world, but with clearer eyes. You realize now that resilience is not about how much you endure. Resilience is about how gently you return to yourself. After each fall, you return now, softly, patiently, without judgment. You no longer demand perfection from yourself. You no longer punish your heart for feeling deeply. You no longer shame your soul for wanting peace. You forgive yourself for not knowing better sooner. You forgive yourself for staying where you outgrew. You forgive yourself for breaking before you learned how to bend. This forgiveness is the quiet healing you once prayed for. It is not a gift to your past self, but a doorway for your future one. You can feel the weight lifting, not because life became easier, but because your hands stopped gripping what was hurting you. You have learned that letting go is not forgetting. It is honoring the lesson, honoring the experience, honoring the version of you who carried the burden for far too long. You thank them, you release them, you move forward. There is a soft power in this, a power that does not need recognition, a power that does not need applause, a power that simply is. Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. You understand this now, in the deepest, most intimate way. There were days when merely existing was an accomplishment, days when your own mind was a battlefield, days when hope felt distant and the future felt unreachable. But you lived through the heaviness, through the fear, through the silence of nights that felt endless. You lived, and that was your courage. Not the loud kind, not the celebrated kind, but the kind that grows in shadows and blooms without witnesses. Even when the future looked like a blur, you walked, sometimes crawling, sometimes trembling, but always moving. This quiet persistence has shaped you more deeply than any triumph ever could. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You are beginning to understand this now. You no longer wait for the world to tell you who you are. You no longer wait for permission to become who your soul already knows. You are shaping yourself with intention, with discipline, with care. You wake with purpose, even on the days that feel heavy, even on the days where doubt sits beside you, even on the days where progress feels invisible. Because you know now that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is devotion. A devotion to the person you are becoming. And every choice you make is a brushstroke in the artwork of your life. You are painting yourself into someone you can stand beside, someone you can trust, someone you can admire, someone you can rely on. You begin to see that the pain you endured was not a barrier. It was a blueprint. It taught you what matters. It taught you who matters. It taught you what no longer deserves space in your life. It taught you the difference between love and attachment, between healing and hiding, between growth and comfort, between peace and distraction. This clarity is a gift you paid for with your suffering, but it is yours now. And with this clarity, you begin to walk differently. Not with arrogance, not with certainty, but with trust. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, trust in your ability to endure, to adapt, to rise. Again and again, you are no longer afraid of falling, because you have learned that every fall is simply a return to your foundation, a reminder of your strength, not the end of it. You have learned that even in your lowest moments, you were never truly broken. You were becoming. And now, as you step forward, you carry a simpler truth. You are allowed to take up space, to choose a new direction, to shed old expectations, to create a life that feels like home in your own soul. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need guarantees. You only need courage. The quiet, steady, unwavering courage that has carried you this far. And that courage is already within you, burning, guiding, becoming. And as you answer this calling, you feel something inside you settle. A presence, a center, a gravity you had forgotten you possessed. It does not pull you backward. It does not anchor you in fear. It draws you inward, toward the life waiting beneath your hesitation, toward the strength you once doubted, toward the person you were always meant to become. The world around you hasn't changed. The noise is still loud. The expectations are still heavy. The uncertainty still murmurs at the edges of your thoughts. But you are different now. The chaos no longer enters you the way it once did. It stops at the gates of your awareness, and you choose, with a calm you never thought possible, whether it deserves entry. You have learned that not everything requires a reaction. Not every moment requires a judgment. Not every wound requires reopening. Not every person deserves a seat in the sanctuary of your peace. Your peace has become sacred to you. Not fragile, not rare, but sacred. Protected with intention, guarded with wisdom. And with this protection comes a new kind of strength. The strength to walk away, without bitterness, without explanation, without looking back. You no longer chase what runs. You no longer cling to what slips. You no longer beg for what harms. You have learned that letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing. Choosing yourself, choosing truth, choosing the quiet courage of an uncluttered heart. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." You extend this now to the deepest parts of your life. If it does not nourish your peace, you no longer carry it. If it does not honor your growth, you no longer hold it. If it does not align with your becoming, you release it. With gratitude and without regret. There is a calm dignity in this, a kind of softness that only the strong can afford. You feel it when you breathe, when you wake, when you sit alone and no longer fear the silence. Your solitude has become a friend, a place where your mind untangles. Your heart softens, your spirit recalibrates. You listen now, not to the world's demands, but to the quiet pull within you. guiding you toward the next version of yourself. It does not shout. It never has. It whispers, nudges, calls softly from the depths. And now, for the first time in years, you are still enough to hear it. You realize that becoming is less about effort and more about alignment, less about force and more about allowing, less about striving and more about remembering. Your strength is no longer loud. It does not flex. It does not perform. It simply exists, a steady flame that does not fear the wind. You understand now that courage is not found in the moments where you feel powerful. Courage is found in the moments where you feel broken and still choose to move gently forward. You have chosen this again and again, even when you doubted every step, even when the fear was suffocating, not because you deny your emotions, but because you understand them. You no longer drown in them. You no longer fear them. You simply feel them, learn from them, and then release them. You are discovering a truth the Stoics held close. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. And the sky never breaks. The storm passes. The clouds dissolve. The thunder quiets. But the sky remains vast, unchanged, unbroken. This is becoming you. You begin to recognize how far you've come, not in miles, but in depth, not in achievement, but in awareness, not in applause, but in alignment. You feel yourself stepping into an inner strength that does not need to be proven, into a calm that does not need to be explained, into a peace that does not need to be defended. This peace is yours, born from your struggle, earned from your suffering, forged in your silence, and slowly you begin to trust life again, not because it became easier, but because you became steady. You begin to trust yourself again, not because you are perfect, but because you are present. You begin to trust the path, not because you can see the end, but because you finally understand that every step is shaping who you must become. And as this realization settles, a soft truth rises gently in your heart. You are ready, not ready because everything is fixed, not ready because the fear is gone, not ready because the pain has vanished. You are ready because you have finally remembered who you are beneath the noise, beneath the wounds, beneath the years of forgetting. You are ready because you can feel the quiet power that survived everything meant to destroy you. You are ready because becoming is no longer a burden. It is a calling, and you are finally answering. This gentleness is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the understanding that growth happens, not when you force yourself to be strong, but when you allow yourself to feel and still choose to rise. You begin to soften in the right places and harden in the necessary ones. You begin to know where to give and where to guard, where to stay and where to walk away. Your boundaries are becoming clearer, not built from anger, but from self-respect, not built from fear, but from clarity, not built to keep the world out, but to keep your peace within. The storms that once consumed you no longer hold the same power. You do not meet them with panic anymore. You meet them with presence. You meet them with breathing. You meet them with the understanding that nothing external can take from you what you have built internally. You realize that all the chaos outside is simply noise, but your center, your stillness, is becoming unshakable. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-mastery is not a finish line. It is a practice, a movement, a daily choosing of who you want to be. And every day, you choose a little better. Every day, you choose a little wiser, a little calmer, a little stronger. And as this beginning unfolds within you, you feel a shift so subtle, it's almost unnoticeable. A small alignment, a gentle correction of your inner compass, not toward a destination the world chose for you, but toward the truth you've avoided, the truth you've longed for, the truth you've always carried, but never dared to claim. You begin to realize that healing is not a return to who you once were. It is the emergence of someone new, someone forged in fire, shaped by loss, strengthened by uncertainty. You are not here to rebuild your old self. That version of you was not meant to survive this far. You are here to become someone wiser, someone deeper, someone more whole, someone who walks with both softness and power, someone who knows their worth without needing loud validation, someone who can hold their own heart without breaking it. Your strength now is rooted quiet and steady. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, like a slow burning flame. In the deepest chamber of your being, the world may not notice this change yet. People around you may not understand it. They might think you are distant, quieter, different, and they're right. You are different. You are shedding parts of yourself that were built from fear, approval, and survival. And that shedding is not a loss. It is liberation. The old you clung to things that were never yours to keep, clung to people who were never meant to stay, clung to versions of life that were never aligned with your truth. But now, you feel the gentle unraveling, a soft release, a loosening of the knots that kept you tied to what hurt you. You begin to see that surrender is not defeat. Surrender is freedom. Surrender is trust. Surrender is strength. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite the trembling. You have trembled. You have broken. You have collapsed in the privacy of your own silence. And yet, you stand, not because life was gentle with you, but because you learned to be gentle with yourself. Feels different. Your thoughts feel different. Your heartbeat feels different. There is a steadiness growing inside you that you cannot yet explain. A return, a remembering, a rising. You are not healed, but you are healing. You are not unbreakable, but you are unbroken. You are not fearless, but you are learning to fear less. And that is enough. More than enough, because becoming is not measured in leaps. It is measured in inches, in breaths, in moments like this one. Quiet, undramatic, but life-changing. You are becoming someone your past self would not only admire, but finally feel safe with. Someone who can carry their pain with dignity. Someone who can face their fears with clarity. Someone who can sit in solitude without collapsing. Someone who can stand in storms without trembling. Someone who chooses truth, even when lies are easier. Someone who chooses courage, even when fear is comfortable. Someone who chooses stillness, even when chaos calls for attention. You are becoming someone who does not need the world's permission to rise. And you will rise, not loudly, not violently, but surely, like a mountain reclaiming its shape, like a tide returning to shore, like a heart rediscovering its strength. This is your turning point, not a dramatic moment, but a quiet knowing, a soft, steady, fearless knowing. You are not done. You are only just beginning. Nothing was meaningless, not a single moment. The Stoics believed fate arranges everything, exactly as it should be, not for comfort, but for growth. And when life hands you what you did not choose, you still have the power to choose how you meet it. You are not powerless. You are not hopeless. You are not destined to repeat the same pain. You are learning. You are adjusting. You are rising, slowly, but rising. And there is a moment, a quiet, nearly invisible moment, when rising stops being a battle and becomes a decision to stop reopening old wounds, a decision to stop shrinking your soul, a decision to stop apologizing for wanting more from your life, more from yourself, more from your future. You are not selfish for wanting peace. You are not ungrateful for wanting change. You are not unrealistic for wanting meaning. Your soul was never designed for a small life. You feel it in the ache in your chest, in the fire in your gut, in the pull of something larger calling your name. You know there is more for you, more strength, more purpose, more stillness, more truth. And the older part of you, the wounded part, the fearful part, the part that learned to survive instead of live, begins to loosen its grip. It starts to trust you, to trust that you can lead now, that you no longer need to hide to stay safe, that you no longer need anger as armor, that you no longer need fear as guidance. You are not the person who collapsed under old weights. You are not the person who apologized for existing. You are not the person who mistook patience for weakness. You are not the person who tried to hold together a life that was hurting you. You have outgrown that version of yourself, and there is grief in that. Yes, letting go of an old identity always comes with grief, even when it no longer fits, even when it was built from pain. But there is also relief, a quiet exhale, a soft release, a recognition that you are finally stepping into the person you were meant to become. You feel it now, not fully, but enough to know the direction, your silence. And as you stand in this quiet beginning, you may feel something unfamiliar, not joy, not certainty, not triumph, but presence, a calm awareness, a soft return. It feels like the world has stopped spinning for a moment, just long enough for you to realize that you are no longer running from your life. You are stepping into it, slowly, deliberately, bravely. Your past does not grip your throat the way it once did. Your fears do not tower over you like giants. Your regrets do not sting with the same sharpness, because something inside you is shifting, something ancient, something powerful. The Stoics called it self-mastery, a quiet command over the one thing you truly own, your mind. You begin to notice the gap between stimulus and response, between what happens and how you choose to meet it. And in that small sacred space, your freedom grows. You are learning that peace isn't found by rearranging the world, but by rearranging the thoughts you bring to it. You are learning that the world is not obligated to make you comfortable, but you are obligated to make yourself unshakable. This is the start of a deeper becoming, not the kind celebrated on screens, not the kind measured in achievements, but the kind felt in bones, built in silence, earned in struggle. You no longer rush to fix everything. You no longer cling to people who drain you. You no longer chase what was never meant for you. Instead, you return to yourself again and again, like a traveler coming home. You realize now that the peace you kept searching for was never out there. It was always the quiet voice inside you, whispering beneath the noise. The voice that said, endure, adapt, do not be ruled by what you cannot control. The voice you silenced for years because the world screamed louder. But the world does not know your heart. The world does not know your purpose. The world does not know your battles. You do. And now you begin to see that everything you survived was preparing you to meet yourself. The real you, not the one shaped by fear, not the one shaped by expectations, not the one shaped by pain, but the one shaped by truth. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be present, to live courageously, to love honestly, to walk lightly while carrying great strength. You are here to embrace the weight of your humanity without letting it drown you. Your heart has been bruised. Your trust has been tested. Your hope has been stretched thin, but none of it has been wasted. Every disappointment carved depth into you. Every heartbreak made room for wisdom. Every loss cleared space for what must come next. Lean into the unexpected. Lean into the fear. Lean into the truth that life does not bend to your expectations. And it doesn't need to. Because you are built for adaptation. Resilience is your inheritance. Courage is your spine. Endurance is your blood. You are not fragile. You are a storm disguised as a person. A storm learning to be gentle. A storm learning to be calm. A storm learning to rise without destroying itself. You are not lost. You are rewiring, rebuilding, re-seeing the world through the eyes of someone who has survived their own mind. And when you survive your own mind, nothing outside can break you. Listen to your breath again. Feel the weight lifting, even if only slightly. Feel the warmth returning to the spaces inside you that became cold. Feel the truth forming inside your chest like a small, steady flame. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to rewrite your story. Not from regret, but from understanding. You know more now. You feel deeper now. You notice things you once ignored. You appreciate what you once took for granted. This is growth. Quiet, invisible, powerful. You are walking a path millions have walked before you. Heroes, thinkers, warriors, philosophers, all discovering the same truth. That strength is not the absence of pain. Strength is the mastery of pain. Pain arrives. Pain teaches. Pain leaves. You remain. You stand taller. You see clearer. You move wiser. And one day, perhaps sooner than you expect, you will look back at this dark chapter of your life and whisper to yourself, "This is where I rose." Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. Like dawn breaking a horizon, like the quiet opening of a long-closed door, like a soul remembering itself after years of forgetting. You are not done becoming. There are strengths within you untested, depths within you uncharted, courage within you untouched, love within you unexpressed, power within you undiscovered. Life did not end where you thought it would. A new path opened, built entirely from the pieces of you that survived. You are here, breathing, becoming, rising. And this is only the beginning. How many wounds have you reopened with your own thoughts? But right now, right here, you are safe. You don't need to predict the future. You don't need to rewrite the past. You just need to return to yourself. Return to the ground beneath your feet. Return to the breath steadying your chest. Return to the truth that you have survived every moment you once thought you couldn't. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken beyond repair. You are becoming. And becoming is not gentle. It is a quiet war, a daily choosing, a daily unbecoming of who you were, and a daily becoming of who you must be. The world will tell you to rush, run faster, do more, be more, win more. But listen closely. The people who run the fastest are often the ones running from themselves, and the ones who walk with steady steps, who move like mountains, who breathe like oceans. They are the ones who understand life. They do not rush their growth. They do not fear their pain. They do not hide from solitude, because they know solitude is not loneliness. It is a meeting, you with yourself, the version of you that you've ignored for far too long, the version of you that holds the answers you keep searching for in the world. The version of you that knows peace isn't something you find, it's something you build, brick by brick, choice by choice, breath by breath. You've carried silent battles, but silence is not weakness. Silence is where your transformation began, where you realize that not every fight deserves your energy, not every opinion deserves your reaction, not every storm deserves your fear. You grew when no one was watching. You grew the night you kept going when everything in you wanted to stop. You grew the morning you forgave yourself. You grew the moment you chose to stay instead of run, to speak truth instead of hide, to endure instead of surrender. Pain did not make you lesser. Pain made you precise. Pain made you aware. Pain made you humble. And humility is the birthplace of real strength. The kind of strength that doesn't need to be proved. The kind of strength that is felt in silence. The kind of strength that cannot be taken from you. The Stoics were not superhuman. They were not immune to grief, fear, or heartbreak. They simply learned to stand inside life's storms without losing the clarity of their mind. You are capable of the same. Lean into discomfort. Lean into the moment when things don't go your way. I want you to breathe. Not the shallow breath you take when the world is loud, but the deeper one. The one that reaches the parts of you you've been avoiding. The one that unlocks the doors you sealed shut. The one that reminds you that you are still here, still alive. Still fighting, still becoming. Life has tried to break you. You don't have to pretend otherwise. You've carried weight in your chest that no one saw. You've held storms behind your eyes while smiling at the world. You've sat in rooms full of people and felt unbearably alone. And yet, here you stand. Fragments maybe, but fragments with fire. Marcus Aurelius once whispered across centuries, "What stands in the way becomes the way." You've lived this without realizing it. Every scar on you is a door. Every wound is a teacher. Every fall is an invitation to rise differently than before. The world will not pause for your pain. It never has. But within you there is a stillness that does not depend on the world. A quiet, ancient strength that waits, sometimes for years, for the moment you finally choose to hear it. Listen, it speaks in the way your heart steadies after crying. It speaks in the way you keep moving even when you're exhausted. It speaks in the way you wake up each morning despite the heaviness. This is your inner citadel, the place Stoics spoke of. Built not of stone, but of choices. And every moment you choose patience over panic, courage over fear, presence over escape, you build another wall within it. You are not born unbreakable, you are becoming unbreakable. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Life has been training you even when it felt like punishment. Pain was not sent to crush you, but to carve you, to carve the softness that needed shaping, to carve the ego that needed dissolving, to carve the strength that could only be revealed in darkness. In darkness. You know it well. You know what it is like to stand in the center of your own doubt, to hear the echo of your fears louder than your hopes, to look in the mirror and not recognize the person staring back, to feel the days repeat and repeat and repeat until you wonder if anything will ever change. But change is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive with a trumpet or drum. It moves slowly, like water reshaping stone, like dawn melting night. Your healing is already happening. You just haven't noticed the sunrise yet. Let yourself feel this moment, not the past, not the weight of years behind you, not the mistakes that claw at your memory, not the failed plans, the broken trust, the abandoned dreams. Just this breath, this heartbeat, this second. The Stoics believed we only ever own the present. Epictetus whispered, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How many nights have you tormented yourself with stories that never happened? How many fears have you lived twice?